Greetings, Banff Warriors. Greetings. Greg is back. So are you, if you're tuning in here. Trying to figure out how to get unstuck. That's probably the number one thing I hear the most. Working with people of all different types. Right? How do I get unstuck? How do I get out of my head? How do I start doing things? And I relate to that. I'll tell you first and foremost, my heart goes out to you. Right? If you ever listened to this message for more than 5 minutes, if you ever listened to a whole episode, right? Entertained the views, the message, the experiences, the things that I've been through to get here, to get myself here, to get myself unstuck, to go through a 13-year journey of like literally surrendering, right? Control, surrendering the fear, the doubt. Doesn't mean it goes away. Doesn't mean it just poof, gone, one. It continues to show up. And the shift over 13 years has been gradual, going from being my worst enemy to being my best fucking friend. That's literally the transformation. I used to be my own worst enemy, worst critic, to being my best friend, my greatest advocate, right? Truly caring about myself, regardless of if anybody else does, right? And what does that take? That's main character energy. Do you understand what that means? Main character energy. Like, so many of us, we're okay following followers instead of being the leader. Did you catch that? So many people out there. You got to check who you're following, because you may be following a follower. And that's dangerous. Ideally, you want to be the leader. And when you walk with other leaders, it's not following. You're walking with. And that's what I invite you to do here, is to walk with me, right? Because I don't see myself above or better, beyond anybody that's ever tapped into this message. I don't see that. That's not what I see. I can guarantee if I was 13 years ago watching this version of me, knowing the wounds that I was carrying, the insecurities that I was carrying back then, yeah, hearing somebody, seeing somebody that obviously appears to have their shit together legitimately, yeah, I would feel a little insecure. I'd be like, fuck, this guy just, he thinks he's better than me or what? And that's just that inner critic, right? That's that voice inside your head that just is relentless. It wants total control. It's a master manipulator, and it sounds like you. And the sad thing is that for so many years of my life, let's just call it the majority of my life, I allowed for myself to identify with that inner critic, with that voice, always casting doubt, always creating confusion, handing over power to fear versus being moved by the feeling of genuine, authentic, unconditional love. Where do you find yourself right now? Do you find yourself being paralyzed by fear, doubt, anger, fear, pride, grief, shame, guilt? Or do you feel yourself being powered, fueled by what? Courage, love, joy, peace, kindness, generosity, openness, understanding. Good evening, Mary. It's great to have you here. It's as simple as that. And you know deep down inside of your heart whether you are mostly controlled by fear, or if you're truly being moved and powered by love. That's it. That's the polarities. Fear would be the darkness. Love is in the light. And it's not a spirituality thing. The darkness is not evil, right? As some would want you to believe, it's not evil. Darkness is lack of information. It's fear, right? It's literally when all the lights, if I turned off all the lights right now, I need to come up with a kill switch so you could see, like if I turned off all the lights, you'd go from seeing me in full color to then if the lights turn off, you don't see me. You could hear me, but there's lack of information. And that's what we, at the core of who we are running from, hiding, avoiding, is flipping the switch inside of our soul, inside of our being, to truly account for and accept, to acknowledge all of life's experiences. Especially what I'm talking about are the traumatic ones, the scary ones, the ones that have negatively impacted our lives up until this point, whether you want to admit it or not. Something that happened to you when you were 2 years old, 5 years old, 7 years old, 1 years old, even before birth, right? Me, before birth, my mother was already passing on stress hormones because of all the shit she was already dealing with. So I was already born with a level of stress, tension, fear inside of this being. And it's taken me 46 years of life to undo all of that. To undo all of that. Because every time something happens to you, you close off, you shut down, right? The picture is like, let's just say you didn't have the stress hormones, right? When you were in your mother's womb. Let's just say that you were born, like it was just it was a happy pregnancy, but then you were born and then something shifted in that family dynamic. When you're born just naturally and normal, right? And there's actually studies that show if you're not even born natural, right? If they have to, induce labor. I was a force snips kid. They had to rip me out. So I didn't want to go. I was already scared, man. I was already like, what the hell's going on out there? I don't want nothing to do with that. It's fucking chaos. I already knew there was chaos. I didn't want to come out. And yet they show that that's, it's already signs of trauma because, there's a destiny. Like you should be predestined to enter this world. The time and the place is predestined, but when we intervene, right, it kind of throws that off. So you're already out of alignment. If you had some kind of a induced type labor, and there's many studies that get deep into that. I'm not going to do that here. The point of tonight's conversation is to really have some empathy, some heart. Good evening, bro. For those of you that are literally feeling alone, like no one gets you, no one will ever get you, because that's what it feels like for so many people on this planet right now. You feel alone. You feel like no one could ever understand what you've been through. And so you've kind of given up. And for a lot of those people, and this is not a mockery of you, but there's a thing that's a survival technique that we do when we are very ashamed and carrying around these wounds, that we put these on. Right? We put these on to not be seen, to hide. We show up at work, we show up here, we show up there, and we wear our masks because we don't feel like anybody will ever understand what we've been through. And we feel alone. Even in the midst of people, we feel alone because we don't feel like we're seen. We don't feel like anybody would ever truly understand us. And the sad thing is what most of us want. And yet we'll put on these as a means to get it. We'll pretend we're something we're not, which is what most of us want, is to be validated. Right? We want to be vulnerable. Most people out there watching this, there's something in your life that you wish that you could tell somebody and not face judgment and not even have someone try and fix your problems, but just to validate it, just to sit there with you, not try and problem solve, but just to say, fuck, it must be really hard. It must be really painful. I can't imagine how difficult it is. With no need to fix. We just want to be validated. To be seen. That it's okay to be a little messed up. Because the truth is, when you look out in this world and you see chaos, it's a reflection of what's going on in the hearts and minds and the souls of the majority of people on this planet. When you look out and you finally start seeing peace, harmony, then you'll know that enough people have done the healing work. Right? And that's the journey that I went on 13 years ago. Was to figure out how to fix whatever the hell was wrong with me. And I didn't know what was wrong with me. I didn't know. I didn't know what was wrong with me. And so I went on a relentless journey. I just knew I couldn't take the pain anymore. I couldn't take the fact that there was something off inside of me. And because I genuinely know I have a very big, loving, open heart, that thing that was inside of me was causing people that I genuinely loved a lot of pain. It was hurting people that I cared about. And I didn't know. I could not control it. I couldn't control it. And I didn't understand what the fuck was going on there. And 13 years, it kind of seems like a long time, but I mean, there just wasn't this. I was listening to a podcast today where a guy was talking about as a man, but when he was a little boy, he was sexually abused for years. And he carried around so much shame about that. And even being like a massive influencer, he only really started going public with it relatively short amount of time. And he's been on the stage for a lot longer. But it was because he never felt like anybody would accept him, understand him, because he thought he was the only one that this could happen to, because no one else ever talked about it. And so there's just all that shame, all that guilt, all that unworthiness, and saying like something's wrong with me. And it's incredible to see more and more and more and more people opening up each and every day. finding the courage to share your story. That's why I, to this day, continue to advocate for professional help, therapist. I don't, in my own personal opinion, I don't advocate for any kind of medications or chemicals. I don't think you need any of that. I've seen so many miraculous things happen just within this incredible body when you start to do the healing work, when you choose sobriety, clear mind, clear body, right? But it's very challenging to get there when you're feeling all alone, have practically given up, you've written off everything because of the unworthiness that anything will ever work. Nothing's ever going to work for me. That's what happens. Most people I talk to that do give me a few inches from their story, it's like that's what's there. Yeah, I don't think that'll work for me. Just already written off. Which is unworthiness. It's just feeling like you're not worthy, feeling like whatever happened to you, you deserved it. Like that level of guilt. I remember I used to do that. And that's because the guilt and the shame I'd carry around wasn't so much me fucking up. It was because I hurt other people that I was like, man, I feel like I deserve punishment. So I'm going to self-inflict punishment upon myself. I'm not worthy. I don't deserve anything, and nothing good should ever happen to me again because I've hurt someone else. I say this all the time. Who is innocent? There's nobody. Nobody is innocent. If you're there sitting alone, feeling like unseen, unheard, unvalidated, isolated, if even not physically, but just mentally and emotionally and spiritually, you're just isolated, you're shut down, you're closed off. Yeah, you're going through the motions. You're really good at putting these on to just, yay, work, yay, this. It's like, fuck. It's exhausting. It's exhausting. Pretending to feel good. That's fucking exhausting. Pretending to feel good. Just to get by. And if you just get by, then usually my routine is if you could just get back to the door, right? Usually for me, it was like a sixer, like, beers, and just fucking blissed out, man. Like just smoking myself into the oblivion of the night, just passing the fuck out, checking out, inebriating myself to a point of just total numbness, totally checked out. Waking up and doing it again. Let's go pretend. Time to pretend. Pretend everything is fine. Fuck. A lot's shifted in 13 years, though. A lot has shifted. And it continues to shift because I think it's twofold. I've mentioned this before many times, if you've listened. If you're depressed, if you're anxious, if you're sad, if you're lonely, my heart goes out to you. But there is something you can do. There is something you can do. And it's a 10-step process. And it's so funny that I heard someone talking about this today, a clinical psychologist, through her own experience of trying to get out of depression. But it's something I've been talking about as well. Because it was told to me when I was kind of in my pity party, woe is me, I don't deserve anything good, I've hurt people I love, right? Fucking, I might as well just die, right? And so what helped me, and it continues to help me, and this is not selfish, This is the true essence of the experience. Is what helped me was to get out of my head, was to go do something kind for somebody else and expect nothing in return. Was to go help other people. Maybe it was volunteering at a homeless shelter, serving meals. Maybe it was volunteering in my community, picking up trash for a cleanup day. Maybe it was seeing a homeless person and buying them a meal, buying them a bus ticket, volunteering for disasters with Team Rubicon. Those humanitarian things cannot go understated. And I can tell you that I can look back and there was a part of me, and this is just because I can be this clear and honest with myself, is the motivation that I had for some of those things wasn't just to be benevolent and be helpful to other people and just be this servant to humanity. There was many times that I did those things to escape my own problems. But nevertheless, those experiences shifted my perspective. And even though it didn't fix my own problems, it shifted my perspective. It gave me perspective. And when I say perspective, it's like when you're stuck in your world, right? And you're seeing it up close and you hate what you see. You dislike it. It's painful. Your reality is painful, whether it's just how you feel, what you're experiencing, right? Whatever life is presented to you as a result of your experiences, whatever hand you're holding on to right now, whatever set of cards, right? If you were to look at your life as a hand and you just got some shit hand of random fucking, you got a twos, a five, a seven. You got probably two jokers in there. Someone dished you that's your pair. You got jokers and some random cards, some numbers, low numbers that aren't even a straight nothing. It's just random cards. And if you're looking at that like as if that's your life, it's so bad, it's so terrible. The thing that can really shift you away from just focusing on how terrible and bad things are is literally going into a situation and helping somebody else that has a for sure worse fucking situation than you. That shifts you big time. And that shifted me. I was like, whoa, I got problems. But when I went to a natural disaster for the first time in Florida, Hurricane Michael, holy shit. I was overwhelmed by what nature can do to fuck shit up. I was overwhelmed because you're talking hundreds of miles of devastation. It's hard to even fathom. What's up, Heaven's Witch? I like that name. And I remember just being so overwhelmed. I had never seen anything like that. It changed my whole perspective. I'd seen destruction like in the Middle East in the military. Man-made destruction, that's pretty fucking bad too. But natural disaster, and then literally, where you're not worried about getting shot at or, any kind of shit like that. You're literally just walking up and seeing a home totally ripped apart and people are still trying to live there. Because, we all have this dream that somehow a government agency is going to come and save your day. And it's like, they don't save shit. They don't save nothing. That's why organizations like Team Rubicon exist, is to fill the gap. That's what the Rubicon is, right? It's the bridge between the two the two sides to fill that gap. But I'm telling you, like going out and doing that service to others, whether it was the homeless shelter, the battered women's shelter, cleaning up in the neighborhood, going to disasters, that perspective changed me. It didn't fix my problems, right? I still had to address those. But at least when I came back, I had a little more of a fresh perspective to say, you know what, my situation's not that bad. These problems that I have in my life, they ain't fucking. This is they shrunk, right? They were like these big monsters, these final bosses, like just fucking, we're gonna get you. And even though I kind of ran away to go to help some other people, seeing that, I came back and those bosses shrunk, man. They were fucking like little tiny. I was like, yeah, these problems are not too bad. Hell of a perspective. It's just a total shift in the mindset, in the heart, in the belief of what is possible. And that's what happens when we're so isolated mentally and emotionally and spiritually. That when we're so isolated and we're just focused on our problems, what you perceive as like a problem, yeah, it's a real problem. Like, think about your problems in life, the things that are just kind of weigh you down, that you wish were different. You wish there was like a magic thing to do to make it go away. Like those problems, if you could just imagine them being like a mountain, how do you move a mountain? Right? I mean, good luck moving the mountain. I sure know that you can definitely climb up it and get to the other side. It's going to be hard work. I went and climbed a big mountain here this past weekend, and it was incredible to encounter so many beautiful people of all different ranges. You know, oldest guy I ran into had a replaced hip, 84 years old, man, out there hiking up fucking big ass mountains. I was so inspired by him. And then there was another guy that was big, overweight, kind of got talked into doing this, and he was hurting, but he kept taking breaks, and I encouraged him. I gave him some snacks, just kind of giving him some guidance, some pro tips about just taking the time. And he knew he wasn't going to get to the top that day, but I gave him credit. I was like, damn, bro, you're out here, bro. You're out here. You're out here, man. You know how many people are scared to even get the fuck out here? You're out here, bro. You're and there's no failure in being out here. You're getting feedback. You're getting feedback because you're out of shape. You know this now because what? Nature has humbled you. But yet there was an 84-year-old guy with a fucking fake hip. And then another couple. I took this picture with these guys. There was another couple. They were in their 74s, 74, 75 years old. It was the most inspiring thing to make new friends like that. Right? That's what inspires me. 84-year-old guy in the middle. The couple's 75. They're out there fucking kicking ass. And I'm over here 46 years old and I'm looking at, damn, this dude's twice my age. I'm like, bro, with a fucking hip. He's got one hip and he's out there still getting it. I'm like, I had to take the pic. I'm like, can I take a picture with all you guys? We just landed up in the same spot. The oldest guy, he heard me telling somebody, someone had asked me, because I always carry my pack, and someone asked me, what are you doing out here? Are you camping or something? I'm like, nah, man, training for life. And the old guy, I had already gone up the mountain, and he heard me say that before I had gone up to the top, and we were coming down, and he just couldn't stop talking about that. Man, I love that saying, man. You're training for life, training for life. And here's a guy, 84 years old. What's your excuse? Right? That's an 84-year-old guy, a couple that's 75. And then there was a big dude. There's a big dude down there sucking it, man. He was sucking it. But he was out there. That's courageous. And that's what a lot of people hearing this message need to do. Get outside. Go do something. Go put yourself in a challenging environment. Go give yourself an opportunity to face your fears and to probably fail. To fail. Can you even fail doing something? Get up and try it again. Maybe not the next day, maybe not the same day, maybe it's in a month, maybe it's in a few weeks. But just to start to develop some courage inside of you that it's okay to fail. That alone holds so many people back. Is you're afraid to, the fear of failure. You're so afraid to fail that you just won't even literally try. Because to try, you've already told yourself, well, what's the point? What's the point? What's the point in trying something new? It's not going to work for me. It may work for you, but it's not going to work for me. I mean, that's like, okay. If that is you right now, right, this one's not for you. If it's not you, but this is resonating with you, share this message because you may send this to somebody that needs to hear this, that they are that place. And that's the beauty of this platform. Is there's people you can reach that I can't reach. But because you're being reached, you should broadcast and share this if it's something that resonates with you. Because the truth is, a message like this absolutely has saved lives, plural, lives. It saved mine, and I know it's already saved some others. That's the power of our experience to turn our lives around. We so many people are so down on themselves because they're comparing themselves. You compare yourselves to everyone else. Because you're not there yet, you're right, trying to keep up with the Jones. Because you're not there yet, you're not good enough. Your life doesn't mean nothing. That's bullshit. For you to turn your pain, your suffering, into your power and into your story of healing, transformation, that is like the most incredible thing, but yet you have to overcome the shame that somehow no one's ever going to understand you. And the truth is, you're not alone. You're not alone when it comes to your story. You just think you're alone because when it probably happened, you felt that's what it made you feel. Whatever happened to you, whatever experience you had, you felt powerless, you felt alone. And so you've stayed stuck in that energy for whatever period of time has passed. And that's why this message is there's a sense of urgency with it. But the truth is that if you're not there yet, then you're not there yet. But by not being there, what you are asking for, because you are asking for something, when you don't take action to start actually responding, especially here, if you listen to this on any regular basis, my message is filled with COA. You know what that stands for? Call to action. Call to action. I just said it earlier. We've already put multiple calls to action. Go volunteer. Go help somebody out. Go do a random act of kindness. You'll feel so fucking good about yourself, especially if it challenges a place where you're vulnerable, right? If you're struggling financially, dude, go do something like super uncomfortable financially to like bless somebody. Like if you're already sucking, man, like holding on for dear life to whatever you got left, man, when you just open up your hands, it's like, woof, magic. It happens. I've had it happen to me so many times where it's just like, I've been there. I know what it is. I've lost everything, man. Financially, I've lost everything. And you can't make this up. This smile, this joy, right? It was freedom to just say, you know what? I'm scared, but I'm going to let go. I'm going to let go and see what happens. I'm going to give, right? when I don't feel like I even have anything to give, I'm going to be generous. I'm going to be bold. I'm going to be courageous. I'm going to give him my time. I'm going to give him my talents. I'm going to give him my treasure. Even if that treasure is minuscule, I'm going to still give it. I literally remember being almost like practically homeless, going after hitting my rock bottom, going through a separation, going through the divorce, like not even the divorce. It was I went through 2 rounds of divorce. I don't know if I've ever even talked about that. Right. But 13 years ago we had first round of divorce, but we reconciled. Then we stuck it out for 7 more years. And then the real divorce happened. The actual divorce happened. We tried for 7 more years to keep it together. But I can remember in that time, I was jobless. I was just doing all kinds of odd jobs to get through. I was just trying to figure out sobriety. I was just trying to clear my mind. And I remember I'd get random calls. People would kind of know, hey, yeah, he's hurting or whatever. And I'd get calls. And I know this is where a lot of people I talk to, you need to develop a different mindset. You need to be more open-minded. I would get calls out of the blue saying, hey, bro, do you have anything going on today? And I'd be like, I would want to be like, well, it depends. But if I knew I didn't have anything going on because I was jobless, I'd be like, no. Okay, well, do you want to work? Yes. All right, meet me here. No qualifiers. Well, what is it? What are we talking about? What do we need to do? I don't and that's where a lot of you are so in your heads. You got to qualify everything. Well, it can't be beneath me. I don't what is it? How long? How much? Blah, blah, blah. Man, when your shit's up against the wall, what you have no business worried about qualifying shit. Well, it depends, how long, what are we doing? When someone calls you out of the blue, like, just say yes. Yes. I mean, as long as this person's not going to have you doing some illegal shit, right? It was never about doing illegal things, but it was just having a faith to say, yeah, I'll go do it. Yes. I'm not doing anything. And yes, I'll go help you with whatever the hell you're talking about because, right, I could use money right now. And that's just having an open heart. That's being very humble, open-hearted, right? And it's trusting in something greater than myself. And those are the seasons, man. That's the shit that I'm carrying around. I've been through it. I've been through the worst. Multiple times have I been through the worst. I've lost it all. Multiple times. And always bounced back stronger. Because why? Because I didn't give up. And also because I've always kept an open heart, an open mind, right? As much as these things could have destroyed me, and as many times as I felt left for dead, stabbed in the back, betrayed, and discarded by people I thought cared about me, now those fucking people see me and they're like, oh, I didn't even recognize you, man. Shit, you look good. Who are you? Shit, I didn't even recognize you, man. That's you? I thought you had died or something. You died. I know there's people that thought I died somewhere along this path. And if I'm honest, there were some people that tried to kill me. Oh man, I'm getting feisty right now. Let me get centered on myself. Everything I'm saying is true. There is some sarcasm in it. It's just because it's wild to me that I don't always reflect on some of the depths. And I did listen to a podcast tonight where this lady was she'd become a psychotherapist but she was really, it was her own path of suffering that inspired her to help other people. And it's like, I just related to that. And there's a part of me that sometimes I know I do my best to try and really go back in the time machine of my own trials and tribulations of this life. For me, I just typed, man, 13 years sober, but it's like, man, dude, y'all don't have no idea, man, what the fuck I've been through. And those of you that are stuck right now, like I told you a story, this was only a few years ago, where I was teaching, right? I had just finished like I finished my master's degree, and I was running a veterans program at a local community college here in northern New Mexico. And it's my master's degree was in business, right? I've always kind of been entrepreneurial. And most people would think, well, you would go start a business or something. But there was like a few other veterans at the time that were like becoming teachers. There was like this big call because there was such a, here in New Mexico and probably all over, there was just such a lack of teachers for, public schools. And because I was running a veterans program, a lot of veterans were, I don't know, they just felt inspired to go teach. And I said, I don't know, maybe I could go do that. And that's another thing that I have some flexibility is like I have some freedom to be able to choose that thing I want to do that allows me to have some purpose. Yeah, that's great to hear, bro. I'm glad that you can connect with that, Heavens Witch. That's what we need each other for. That's what this platform's all about. It's what Results Kill Excuses is all about. It's like I've always been authentic, but sometimes I don't always get into the nitty-gritty of the stories that have got me here. And it's like because I'm like so far down range, but it's like I'm always relatable because I stay connected, coaching a lot of people one-on-one and just hearing those stories, whether it's real time, I love connecting with people even just in the wild, like these couples, the people in the picture there. It's like that day of hiking, I ran into, I don't know, I made time for probably 20 people to have a legitimate conversation with. And it wasn't just about how's your weather, how's your hike. It's talking about life, the struggles, the hardships. And so, yeah, so I became a teacher for a few years. And so, but it was during the pandemic. And one thing I learned really quick was I didn't fit in that system. My heart was to help kids, and I did. Like when I was in my classroom, I was so unscripted as I am right now. This is me. So even as a teacher, I was unscripted. I could see all these children that were experiencing trauma. This is kind of why God put me in that environment, put that on my heart to go in the classroom, because the school I went to was the worst school in this area. And so it was what they called a trauma informed school, because there was a majority of the children there that had documented like physical, sexual, all kinds of traumas. And you could see it. As an empath, I'm an empath. I can really pick up on people's energy, young and old alike. I could see the dead energy on these children. I could see that they were sitting in their desk, like scared and nervous, and like something had happened to them that night, the night before getting to school. And for a lot of these kids, like school was the only safe place that they had, because being at home wasn't that. And that's why even the pandemic messed up a lot of kids, because then they had to be with their abusers all the time. And that's a challenging thing to be in, to hold that space. But it was a mirror for me. I was seeing childhood trauma and how it was impacting. It put me through my own time machine to see my own life, to say, wait, I experienced shit like this too. This had to have impacted my life. How did the things I experienced at this age, because I taught 4th and 5th grade, which is the 0 to 10-year-old time frame, I was like, how has this, because they started giving us all kinds of trainings about how to identify and facilitate trauma in children and to be a safe place for them. And so the full length mirror was there. And it was like, whoa, that's when that's when the work really started to kick in. And so I became a teacher in 2019. So we were talking, really the past 6 years has been like exponential growth on the emotional, the trauma from childhood. And again, that wasn't an accident, but I didn't stick around for it. I, got in there, it was chaotic. Then the pandemic happened, went back, and I just realized that I was like, this isn't, as much as I love being able to be a container for, 30 kids. I just knew in my heart that that my calling was to impact millions of people every day. As much as the 30 kids, and I still have parents hit me up with their kids, and I made a huge impact there, as I have pretty much everywhere I've gone. But I knew I needed to be here. And the story I was trying to tell about helping others, and I've mentioned this story before, is in the summer that I left teaching, I was kind of in between jobs again because I'd walked away from teaching. I was just like, I know I'm not going to make change in this system. I don't fit the system. The way the system was like addressing me, I was like an extension of kids, and I can't be talked to like that. I need to be talked to as a full grown adult, not like a fucking child with the hierarchy bullshit they have there. So I didn't fit in the system, but it was good to at least see that. And I know why. I had the opportunity to experience it firsthand. But it was in the summer after I walked away from that I was sitting there in the summer, and a buddy, an older guy, friend of mine, he posted up something on social media needing help with a trailer. And there I was again, just like I told you when I was unemployed, going, year zero of this experience, 13 years of sobriety, being, unemployed, when people would call me and say, hey, I heard that you are looking for some work. Yeah, man, no qualifiers. Well, there was a guy asking for help with a trailer. And there's a part of me that's like, man, I got nothing going on, but I don't know. He'll find somebody. I don't know if I'm the guy. I don't know if I really want to do that today. But instead, there I was. I had just walked away from teaching. Someone put something up there for asking for help. And I said, you know what? Let me just reach out. I have a trailer. I have time. Let me just do this random act of kindness. Answer someone else's call for help. At the end of the day, I picked up a load of rocks for like a landscaping project, dropped it off. Probably took a couple hours. He gave me $100. And the next week, the same guy then called me and said, hey, bro, do you want to do some more like some hauling stuff? And I said, yeah, probably. And then that led to another thing. At the end of the day, that one act, I didn't have to have a certification. I didn't have to go to school. I just had things, and I was aware of someone asking for help. And I said, you know what? I can help this person. That one act that gave me $100 eventually parlayed itself to probably over $500,000 because of the connections and the networks and how that butterfly, it's called the butterfly effect, was when you throw a juke move on life. You think you have plan A, and then for some reason something pops up and you say, you know what? This other thing popped up, and it's like, it's drawing my attention, but it's so out of the ordinary. What happens if I make a shift? What happens if I do this shift? Well, the impossible can be possible when you do those types of things, when you're paying attention. Right? Some people say that's luck, but it's like, no, that's preparation meets opportunity, which is you're ready for it. You're ready to take that leap of faith. And that's where I was. It's just like, dude, I just want to help a guy. And then he calls me up the next week. And that next week, I got paid like $3,000 for doing just like hauling some trash, like construction material, to a dump. Me and my son made like $3,000 from, I don't know, like 10 trips. It was basic, super basic. And then that led to meeting some people that I eventually went into a partnership with and renovated a motel with, and, leveled up there, 6-figure, right? And then purchased a ranch. And it's just like, one thing, it just kind of snowballed in a positive direction. But when you're sitting there again, there's two contrasts where I was like an in between, just kind of could have been just sitting on my ass, just being distracted, letting time pass me by. But instead, one time I got a call basically saying, "Hey, bro, do you want some money?" And instead of saying, "Well, it just depends. I don't know." I mean, like, I just knew this person wasn't going to have me do illegal shit. I knew it was probably going to be some hard work or whatever the fuck it was, helping someone move. I didn't care. I did not care. But see, that's the problem with so many of you. You do care. You care so much. But it's sad that your care is actually not caring. Like, if you care, then you will do things. If you really care about yourself, you won't keep yourself where you're at right now. Because again, what I put right here, right, this is probably the next shirt I'm going to make. When in doubt, self-rescue. No one's going to rescue you. When you're in doubt, when you're in fear, when you're stuck, you got to self-rescue. You got to step up. You got to take action. And one of the best things you can do is to help somebody else out. And just see how you feel on the other side of that. I challenge you. Just see. Does it have to be a grandiose thing? No. It could be the most simple thing. You could be at the grocery store and you look at the person behind you. Maybe they don't have like a $300 cart worth of stuff, but maybe they have like a $40 cart, or even just like a $20 cart, or just some things. And you just tell the checker, "Hey, can I get their stuff?" You know how good that feels? You know how incredible? You're not even just impacting the person you're buying it. The checker's like, "What? You're serious? You're really you're going to do that for them?" Yeah. Yeah. Just scan their stuff. And people are always like, "Hey, wait, that's my stuff." And the cashier's like, yeah, I know. I know. Don't worry. It's okay. And then I pay for it. And they're just like, "What? You just pay for my stuff?" "Yeah, man, I got you. Thanks. Have a great day. Goodbye." And there's nothing in return. Just have a great day. Goodbye. And then guess what? Then something happens to you on the other side of that. But when you live in fear, you're just like this. You're clenched fists, you're tense, you're shut down, you're hiding out in your house, you're being avoidant of everything and anything. If you want to get beyond that, it's like, go do what you wish someone would do for you. This is literally reciprocity. Treat others the way you want to be treated. And a lot of you have even given up on that. You say you're nice, you say you're this, but here's the problem. You want to know why it doesn't work? You want to know? Because I used to do this. Right? The golden rule: treat others the way you want to be treated. If you want to be treated with generosity, kindness, thoughtfulness, right? Validation, then that's what you need to show up in the world. But here's the thing: you can't expect it. You can't show up with false pretenses, with like a needy heart. You just go do this stuff and then don't expect it. You just do it. See what happens when you start creating these ripples in your life. Right? Pattern interrupts is what I'd call it, right? You ever heard of a pattern interrupt? It's like anytime you do something that like shifts the screen, right? If I do that, that's just like so simple. It's a pattern interrupt, which is supposed to keep you focused, because people have such short attention spans. So if you move the camera, right? If I do the camera, do something like that, it's pattern interrupt. Well, you can do that with your life too. If you're just kind of going about like a zombie day after day, broken record, like you need to do something different, something new. And the more new things you open yourself up to trying, Doesn't have to be big things. I mean, literally a pattern interrupt is if you only take the exact same route to and from work every single work day, and you know there's this other route, but it takes 15 minutes longer, but it's like more scenic and more nice. It's like, can you give yourself the extra time to take the new route? But you're like, well, that's dumb. Why would I want to take the new route? That's wasting more gas. That's taking me longer. Da 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 da. It's like, dude, again, it's the wrong spirit. Instead of realizing that when you do something new, you're shifting your reality. You're telling your brain, you're telling God, you're telling everyone that, someone's awakening. Someone's saying, I'm not going to just live life like a zombie as I see 555s right now. That's a number of transformation and change. That little thing, that little input of taking another route to and from work that takes a little longer. Maybe there's some more nature. Maybe it's like involves a country road. You can roll down your window and smell the grass, smell the flowers. Maybe even pull over, kick off your shoes and socks before you go to work, feel the sun, right? Because you gave yourself not only the 15 minutes, but you gave yourself 30 minutes because you could like go to this beautiful place. Maybe there's a beautiful view or just some nature there. You can like kick off your shoes and socks and have a moment with yourself and nature and creation and God and just, right, really just be thankful. Get back in the car and get to work. Tell me you don't have a different day that day. And then do it on the way home too. But no, we all want something drastic to happen. Drastic. It has to be massive. I need massive transformation overnight. That's why so many things. That's why, I mean, there's a lot of people that have predatory practices because they're promising you things like this. Do these 3 things and tomorrow your whole life has changed. Say this one thing and all your problems are gone. When what is the motto here? What's the motto here? 1% better every day. Not 100% better, not 500% better every day where you're so crushed and overwhelmed. Not 10,000 times better every day, not a ton better, 1%. 1% better every single day. Pattern interrupt. That's it. That's how you get it done. That's how you shift your life. That's how you start to transform and take your power back from your fear, from the doubt, is by opening yourself up to trying new things. And as you try new things, maybe some of those new things is try to volunteer. And there's so many different ways you can volunteer, right? If you're somebody that like loves music and stuff, like if you were to look in your local area, like every neighborhood, every city, every community in this, all over the world during summertime, if you're in like the Northern Hemisphere, has like concerts all the time, outdoor free concerts. And guess what they love to have? Volunteers. So if you're someone that loves music, you could go and like volunteer. If you're someone that wants to help out people that are a little more hurting in your community, you can go volunteer there, man. Homeless shelter, soup kitchen, food pantry, right? Nonprofit, any nonprofit in your community, guess what? They would love to have you volunteering. But wait, volunteering, do you get paid for that? No, you don't get paid to volunteer. Some of the hardest work I've ever done, Team Rubicon, right? Going to disasters, we don't get paid for it. All we get is real kind of rough housing. Like usually we're sleeping in cots in a big gymnasium, and then they feed us. So we get food, we get shelter. There's no pay. And they fly, like if we have to fly out or you drive out, they'll cover that cost. But there's no pay. And it's probably the most dangerous work I've ever done outside the military. As a civilian, probably the most dangerous work I've ever done is on a disaster, and I got no pay for it. Some of the hardest work and the most dangerous work, no pay. I promise you, it was worth every minute. And when I have even more abundance of time, I'll be doing that even more and more and more and more and more. But right now, this is what my focus is on. This is the type of suffering that I'm trying to help, is in the minds and the hearts and the spirits of people. This is how I can help. This is the gift I've been given. Did this gift come because I'm just so talented and love to talk? No, this gift came from my own suffering. This gift came through all of my own hardships. And being somebody that was stuck, got unstuck, and started to fucking get relentless about trying to figure myself out. And I wasn't going to compromise. I wasn't willing to compromise. I didn't know how long. There was no process here. Right? I literally trailblazed a route that a lot of people are pretty freaked out about. They're like, dude, how did you do this? Most people don't even understand. Like, what? What are you doing? How did you do that? How are you doing that? That's what you're doing? Really? You do that? When did you start doing that? And it's because, when you're going through your healing, your spiritual awakening, one of the real truths, the sobering truths, is when you decide to start making some drastic changes in your life, guess what? A lot of people they're like cockroaches. You turn on that fucking light in that dark closet of yours, that inside, they're like the roaches. They're like, out of here. Poof. Gone, man. We're gone. I don't want no part of that. I don't know who that person is. When you relapse back to the old broken, wounded person, misery loves company, hit me back up. But if you're going to be doing this healing stuff and sober stuff and, all that, I don't want no part of that. And these are people that say they care about you. And they would love for you to not do it. Because if you do it, there's something inside of us, all of us, that we know that we're just settling. We're settling. And it's way funner, even though it's not fun. It's just way more tolerable to settle in a group amongst the masses. That if you see everyone around you settling, you see everyone around you fucking off, right? It's easy to hide in that. It's easy to be like, you know what, everyone's doing this. That other shit, I don't know. I don't know. That's weird. That's weird. Being sober, healing emotions, is that even something you can do? Actually, I don't even think I have any problems. I can't remember any of my childhood, but I don't think I have any of those problems. I just have anger issues, but it has nothing to do with my childhood. You don't understand what my ex did to me, the narcissist. Like, wait, if you spot it, you got it. We want to blame everyone else. We want someone else to be the reason why we are the way we are. And in truth, all the characters, if you think about your life like a movie, everyone that's like caused you harm is like a character. But the part where a lot of people don't want to hear and accept is that you asked them to play that character. Ooh, that hurts. Raise your hand if you can accept that. Raise your hand if you can accept that every person that's hurt you, that your soul asked them. Your soul asked everyone that's hurt you, everyone that's hurt you. Your soul asked them if they would please hurt you in this life. If you can accept that, raise your hand. I accept that fully. I fully accept that. And I know how hard it is. I know how hard it is to raise your hand, especially because if you're still a victim, if you're a victim. But what you don't realize is we're all eternal souls. And the people, do you think it's a coincidence that the people that have hurt you the most are the ones that are closest to you? They're not strangers. Usually, like for a stranger, very few people have ever, when I've asked this question, who's hurt you more, strangers or the people closest to you? It's always the people closest to you. And so the knowledge that comes to me for an explanation as to why that is, why the people closest to us hurt us the most, is because those people are our soul tribe. They are playing out the role that will fulfill the lessons that your soul needs, and that you trust them enough to carry that out at the soul level. Conscientiously, they don't know that that's what they're doing. And you're doing it too for others. That's the beauty of it. There's this like beautiful, right? There's this beautiful harmony to all of this like conflict and pain and suffering that we're just passing on to each other. Because no one's innocent. Not one person, not one soul on this planet is innocent. I always say this. Someone hurt you. Okay. Well, someone hurt the person that you hurt. Someone hurt that person. But if we start from you now, and it goes forever, right? Someone hurt someone, someone hurt someone, someone hurt someone, someone hurt someone. They passed on that pain. And then you got hurt. Well, whether this is another awakening, right? Oh, wait, I'm not perfect. You've hurt other people. How bad? I don't that's where people want to like get into the semantics. Oh, well, I've never hurt anybody as bad as this person hurt me. Well, that's because you asked for your soul needed whatever that medicine is, whatever that wound was, your soul asked for that. But you signed up to hurt somebody in the way that you hurt them. And if it's not, it doesn't have to be one for one. It's not about one for one. It's just how it all orchestrates and comes together with just like this perfection that everyone is playing a role. There's not any mistakes. There's not any mistakes in any person you encounter. The most basic encounter. There's been a few times in my life where, have you ever heard this? Like, I think it even used to, I think it says it in the Bible sometimes, where like sometimes you'll have angelic visitors, like people that are like angels, like spiritual beings will like manifest into your life for a visitation. And I know I've had this happen multiple times. And like just, it's just like these really profound things. And there's been times where I've been really unkind. I remember one time I was super unkind to this guy. And what was so funny is he looked like an older version of me. And I was running my business in Southern California, and he was an old guy, and he was walking around. I used to have my promotional products company in this like kind of a strip mall. And he was walking around asking the business owners if he could wash the windows from your business. And for whatever reason, I was stressed out. But this guy walked in, and there was something about him. I felt like I was looking at myself, but he was like way older. And he was like really like aggressive with me, which is probably how I was acting, how I would be back then. And he asked me about the window. I'm like, no, man, I don't want you. Like, no, dude, no, don't touch my windows. Go away. And I didn't have any tolerance for him. But the encounter to this day just stuck with me. I was like, dude, that wasn't a normal guy. That was an angel. That was a test. And I definitely failed it. I definitely failed that one. And that's okay. That doesn't make me a failure. In the past, it used to, as I see 144. So I know I'm talking to chosen ones right now. It's 144, right? If you're listening right now, you're chosen. What are you chosen to do? You're chosen to really immerse yourself on this spiritual awakening, healing journey which should eventually get you to becoming, embodying the highest version of yourself. And ultimately, in that, you'll have a purpose to help other people. Whether that's a dream of yours or something you're like, I don't want no part of that. It's like you chose yourself. The whole thing about choosing is like you're not chosen. Like it's not like God chose you. It's like you chose yourself for this mission to be on this planet alive for a time such as now, for a mission such as this. And it starts with getting 1% better every day, taking extreme ownership of your life, healing, life on life's terms, clearing your mind of chemicals, doing the emotional healing work, right? Reconnecting yourself with creation, the oneness of all things, getting beyond the pain, beyond the division, and allowing yourself to be connected. How is what possible? Yeah, the psychedelic experiences. I've only done a few of those. For me, it's like the cool thing about that I see as I see 111 with the psychedelic stuff is especially like all the medicines, like I think people are using it way too much. And the reason why they're using it way too much is because it shows you what's behind the curtain. It shows you what the fullest potential is, but the sad thing is it doesn't keep you there. So it shows you what could be, but it doesn't keep you there. And where I haven't needed any of those really expansive medicines is because I've taken a different route to not only get there, but to stay there, energetically speaking, where I don't need the plant medicine to give me, it's like a cheat code, right? It's definitely transformative. People have great enlightenments, experiences, but it doesn't keep them there. And so then they coming off of that, there's a sense of like, okay, what do I do now? How do I get back to that? And so then they go back to the medicine again, just to experience it. And then they come back down and they're like, well, what do I do now? Well, let me take the medicine again because I want to experience that. And it's like, dude, do the work. And what's the work? Right? It's going through the process of human expansion, which takes you from self-sabotage to self-mastery. And in between there is self-discovery, self-improvement, self-development, self-awareness to self-mastery. That's what I've experienced. That's what my journey has taught me and allowed me to now teach many others. And if you're somebody that's looking for a system to help you really lock in to this experience and figure out a program, it's right here. The 1% Better Everyday Journal. Volume 1 and 2 now. 6 months, right? All you got to do is go to resultskillexcuses.com, click on shop, print products. And right there, you got volume 1 and 2. It's 180 days of guided journaling prompts, over 100 coaching videos, right? 10 hours of expert support, interactive worksheets, right? That just keep you locked in. You know, there's a video here, an example of one of the coaching lessons. You can kind of look through all this, but there's nothing like this out there. There's actually nothing like this. To have this as a daily worksheet, it seems so simple and easy, but when you're just staring at a workbook or just staring at a notebook, it's like you kind of lose the vibe. I was talking to Adam. I think Adam's on here. I mean, he had a gap where he went from volume 1 and then volume 2 came out. So he ordered it, but he lives in Canada. And so he had about a week gap, and we were talking today and he was like, dude, like I lost my mojo. I lost that. I missed it. He's like, what I tried to do without that system was not even anywhere close. And the cool thing is this is it's simplified. It's so simplified. If you've never done journaling, it's so simplified for you to be able to really just start to create routine, habit, start tracking on a daily basis. A 6-month program, it's an incredible deal. It's an incredible resource. There's nothing like this on the planet, guaranteed. There's nothing like this. And so I'm just grateful for everyone that has taken that leap of faith to get yourself the 1% better everyday journal, right? Whether it's volume 1 or now we got volume 2, and guess what? There's going to be a volume 3 and there's going to be a volume 4, and it's not just the same, right? There is a master, stroke of genius in these that I have put my heart and soul and my experience into this, because this is what I could have used 13 years ago. And I talk about how there's no quick fixes to our problems, but what there is people that have figured it out, like myself. Because I have a teaching background, I've pulled together all my skills: teaching, graphic design, right? And even just stepping into that healer arc, that I've been given the download to manifest, to create these journals, to be able to help people, help themselves, to start holding yourself accountable, to start learning about yourself, redefining yourself, giving yourself a whole new self-image. Because I always say you can go in and redefine. Healing is about going in and releasing the pain of the past and then giving it new meaning. You can't scribble it out and sweep it under the rug and act like it didn't happen. But what you can do is you can actually write how the story ends from this point forward. And a lot of people struggle with that. And even if you're someone that like hated writing, they say 70% of people hated like English class growing up, because they just hate to write. But yet there's power in the pen. It's mightier than the sword, because with the pen, you can redefine yourself. You can literally start to write the most incredible story for your life. You can continue writing more of the same, which is also a choice, and that's doing nothing. Which really, in doing nothing, you're actually saying it's okay. It's the shit attitude that I used to have, saying I deserve suffering. More suffering's fine. I don't care if I suffer until the end of time. Like, that's just, I've given up. That's what you'll get. It's more suffering when you do what you would call nothing or the same. It's not until you start shifting, right? And doing these new things, creating new habits that will support you building your dreams, bringing your dreams into 3D reality. If you have a vision, if you can visualize it, I love hearing this. I think I hear it from Steve Harvey. I've heard it from Jim Rohn, Steve Harvey, a lot of motivational. They say if you can see it in your mind, you can hold it in your hand. But you have to believe it. And it's not just seeing it one time. You have to really, really crystallize that vision. And that is always most importantly done through writing this stuff down, reflecting, writing, goal setting. It's all packed into here, right? Daily goals, weekly goals, monthly goals that are reframed in a way where it's not just like, what's your monthly goal? It's like, what matters to you this month? What do you want to accomplish? And then you break it down. Well, okay, the things that matter to you for this month, break it down into how do you create the steps into what matters each week of that month? What are the steps you need to take? And then what matters to you every single day? And where most people set themselves up for failures because you set the bar too high. You think you have to have this high bar. You think you have to do 100%, right? I got to be 100%, 500% better every day. And then so you say, I'm too overwhelmed. I can't do it. No, it's 1% better. 1% better. That's it. That's all you got to do. Just 1%. But if you do 1% better for 91 days, that's 3 months. That's a quarter, right? You're going to see some major transformation in your life. You're going to really start to feel some traction, probably have some significant breakthroughs, and really start to stack some receipts that is like, whoa, I'm actually shifting my life little by little, right? It's the tortoise in the hare. It's literally the tortoise in the hare. The military saying was slow is smooth, smooth is fast, right? But we live in this world where everything has to be rush, 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 rush. Hurry, hurry, now, 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 now. I got to have it all right now. It has to change right now or else I'm not doing anything. And it's like, stop with that shit. We got to go back to the old days when we were willing to put in the work to earn the things that we truly desire, to really align ourselves. And it's not even just earning, it's aligning yourself. And when you're so out of alignment that you're just stuck, right? It's going to take alignment, just like discipline is a skill. And if it's a skill, that means you can learn it. It's not just like this magical thing that some people have and others don't. No, it's a skill. Discipline is a skill. It takes practice. And all of us can get better, can become more disciplined. It's not given through lineage or any of that shit. Genealogy, it's none of that. It's just like, are you willing to be honest with where you're at, set a goal for where you want to be, and reverse engineer it to say, okay, I'm here, I want to be there. Let me create a strategy and see what happens. 1% better every day. That's it. That's all we're trying to do here. 1%. No 0 days. But that also means that you have to shift your limitations when it comes to the calendar. Weekends are no longer weekends. Holidays are no longer holidays. Every day is the same. Right? And some of you will be like, what? That's not right. What do you mean every day is the same? No way. It's like, yes way. Because the most important gift that you have every single day that you should celebrate, that you should have gratitude for, which is the very beginning of the 1% Better Everyday Journal. Right? We start with gratitude every day, some affirmations and some gratitude, right? The reason why every day is the same is because the greatest gift is life. If you wake up and you have life, that's the greatest gift. That's why they call it the present. But yet we want to put like, well, the weekends are way more important because I don't have work. It's like, that's just mind fuckery. It's the only way to explain that. You've limited yourself to be run by the calendar, run by time, run by holidays, which is really, most of that shit's all about marketing. We got a big holiday coming up here in the US, and most of y'all think it's about a fucking barbecue nowadays. It's called Independence Day. That's when motherfuckers were willing to fight for their freedom. Did you hear that? Have you forgotten that? Motherfuckers willing to fight for their freedom? Fight. Fight. Not protest, not with a sign, not complaining, fighting. Fighting for freedom. That's what happened. That's what went down. But most motherfuckers think it's about fireworks and fucking hot dogs and burgers, brewskis, sunburns. It's about fighting for freedom. You should be willing to fight for your freedom. And the beautiful thing is, you don't got to fight No one else. You just gotta fight yourself every single day, because when in doubt, it's time to self-rescue. And the beautiful thing is when you get into that fight mindset, what you realize is the lower self, it doesn't put up much of a fight. It's all smoke and mirrors. It's all talk. It's all talk. But you're so weak. You've given up. You've gotten so soft. Right? You've gotten soft that you will allow that rambunctious, controlling, manipulative, master manipulator voice inside of you to run your fucking life as if that is you and it's not you. And that's where you got to start going to war with yourself. That's where you got to start saying, you know what, enough's enough, man. I've been listening to this negative part of me, that inner critic that says, I'm never good enough. I suck. No one cares about me. You're better off dead. No one ever is going to care about you. No one's going to love you. No one sees you. You're worthless. Blah, 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 blah. Shut the fuck up. Or how sometimes we say here in New Mexico, cállate, se la boca. Shut your mouth. But yet we're soft. Burgers, brewskis, and dogs to celebrate motherfuckers willing to fight for freedom. If those founding fathers could only see what we've become. It's pathetic. 40% obesity, 2,000 men killing themselves, 500 women every day killing themselves. Yeah. Let's celebrate burgers and dogs and fireworks and call that a way of honoring those that were willing to fight for freedom, to speak truth to power, to not just talk about it, but to do something about it. Yeah, we've come a long ways. A lot of complaining, that's all I hear nowadays. A lot of people that would much rather spend all day out in the sun with a piece of fucking cardboard with some bullshit written down on it than to say, you know what, I could use my time working on myself. If I heal myself, if I improve who I am, if I create true peace inside of my own soul, knowing that the conflict I see outside is a reflection of the conflict inside. So the number one purpose that you have is to heal yourself, your wounds, your trauma, your emotional wounding. If you do that work, which the 1% Better Everyday Journal will absolutely start you down that path. No questions asked. Guaranteed. But are you willing to do the work? Or have you already said, that can't work. Okay. It won't work for you. But neither will holding a cardboard sign with some bullshit written on it and standing outside in the sun complaining. That won't work either. So then what is going to really work? What's going to work? What's going to get you the results? I don't know. Who do we trust? Do we trust your inner critic, or do we trust this motherfucker that's talking to you right now? Right? You willing to take that leap of faith? You willing to just take that blind faith, right? To take a gamble, to roll the dice, to say, you know what? Let me see what happens when I roll the dice, when I pull the trigger, and I get myself one of these. right? Let me see what happens when that thing shows up. Let me see who I show up as when I put in that work for not only 3 months, but for 6 months. And eventually it's to go for a whole year saying, this is what matters. This is what matters. Prove me wrong. Prove to me that there is something that matters more. Is there anything that matters more than this work? Than you doing the healing work, the emotional heavy lifting? Is there anything that matters more? Your team winning, right? Who's in politics? What social issues important? Like wars going on? Does any of that shit matter more than you doing this work right here for the next 3, 6, 9, and 12 months? Is there anything that matters more? Could you imagine what your life would be like 12 months from now if you were to lock in to the 1% better every day? Journal, the life. Could you imagine? Do you even have a vision of what that would look like? What is your life if you just keep doing the same thing in 1 year from now? Is it transformed? Is it transformational? Did you get your breakthrough by doing the exact same shit you've been doing? Or are you ready to start doing the pattern interrupts, right? The pattern interrupts. Trying new things. Maybe just going out on a limb and trusting to say, you know what, I don't know. I think this is a sales pitch, is it? Yeah, it is. It's a sales pitch. This is an opportunity for you to take a leap of faith, to try something that is creating a track record right now, proven track record of helping people break through their limiting beliefs, starting to sort through and declutter all the problems that they're facing, reprogram their negative beliefs, and ultimately starting to heal the emotional wounds. This is what this system, the 1% Better Everyday Journal, offers you. What are you waiting for? All you got to do is go to resultskillexcuses.com, go to the shop, print products. At the very, 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 very least, get yourself volume 1. But if I was you, I would lock in for 6 months because that gets you through the start of 2026. And it's right there, man. Y'all think, oh man, it was just January. Now it's already July 1st tomorrow. Shit. Where'd this year go? It's going to be Christmas here soon enough. Jingle bell, do 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 do. And y'all going to be like, oh shit, another year. Maybe this will be my New Year's resolution. Why should it be your New Year's resolution? Why don't we do Christmas in July here at Results Kill Excuses? Christmas in July. Give yourself the greatest gift, the gift of healing, the gift of becoming the best version of yourself. It's the greatest gift I've given myself, to be able to trust myself, self-mastery. It's the greatest gift. There's no better gift than to truly be able to stand in any situation and to trust myself emotionally, to be able to do life on life's terms, to transform myself, to truly step out and be seen for who I truly am, not what someone else wants me to be, not how someone else wants me to, what they want me to say, what they want me to look like. I don't have to pretend. We're not doing these no more. We never do these. It doesn't matter where I go. This doesn't go. Ever. This guy right here shows up everywhere he goes. Main character energy. You're worthy of that. If you're hearing this, this is your call to step into your main character energy. Get out of the pity party. Go do something kind for someone else. And guess what? It could even be doing something for you. Right? That's another Gregism, which is do something new, do something for you, and go do something kind for somebody else. It's really a triple. It's a triple threat. It's something to do every day, every week, every month. Doing something new, doing something for you, and doing something kind for somebody else. There are certain things where you could check all three of those by doing something new for you that also is for you, and it's also kindness towards yourself. That is not selfish, that's self-interest. Guess what would be the manifestation of one of those? This right here. You guessed it. Purchasing the 1% Better Everyday Journal, Volume 1 and 2, bonus pack, now complete with the receipts, stickers, the 4-color pens, and literally just unlimited abundance of knowledge, information, experience, and just a lot of love. There's a lot of love packed into there, a lot of support, where you can actually feel validated, seen, heard, and also not so alone if you participate in the community. Thank you to all of those of you that get on here and comment, connect, whether it's just a few things or you're, someone that's just really active communicating. It's important, and a lot of people appreciate it. I get a lot of responses from people when there is an active chat going. So thank you for being a part of that. Thank you for responding to the message. I got challenged today, right? This is a receipt. This is a challenge for me. I got challenged today, right, to start having a schedule for when I do the lives. And I agree, it's something I need to do, so that those of you that actually really do get something from this, you can schedule it. You can be a part of this. You don't have to worry about missing it or watching on replay, because the live is probably the best. And so that's a challenge that I have, and that's something that I'll deliver on. Publicly noted, and I'm going to stamp a receipt on that. With that being said, I think that's it for tonight. As it's 11/11 here, we start a new month. Christmas in July. What if Christmas for us could mean giving ourselves some incredible gifts? The gift of life, the gift of sobriety, the gift of doing the lifting, the gift of having a morning routine if we don't have a morning routine, the gift of releasing our vices, the gift of connecting, signing up for the Breath of Life Healing Circle, right? That's a whole nother fun aspect, which is also on here. If you're hearing this, you could go to the top of the page, Breath of Life Healing Circle. I would love to invite you to that. We meet on Sundays live. The schedule, if you scroll down on here, coming up, right? We got off this weekend, and then we got the next 3 after that, just to kind of honor the holiday. So we got 3 in July, 3 in August. I would invite you to also be a part of that. I'm going to be setting up a drop-in. So if you don't want to sign up for the membership, but you want to maybe just kind of check it out, you can be looking for that this week. I'm going to add a drop-in option for you to be able to join us. Just check it out, see what it's about. And with that being said, I thank you guys for being here. I wish you all the best on your journey. Keep going. Stay locked in. 1% better every single day. You know the drill. Results kill excuses, because if it was easy, it won't be worth it. Greg's out.